myself to be the car. Now I could not get out of the car, because now every time I get out of the car, I get out of the car as a car. Yeah, see? See the identification? So I get in the car, but suddenly, when the car's driving and beeping, and suddenly there's a GPS with a voice, like Siri, whatever, saying it's you doing it. And so suddenly you go into a certain slumber, and now you're taking yourself to be the car, which immediately precludes you ever fucking get out of the car. Because when you stop and pull over and get out, it'll be the car getting out of the car. So the dilemma, if there is one, is called the act of being identified. Let's use the car thing. The act of being identified as a car. Yeah. So now you're seemingly in a car, but now you take yourself to be the car, which immediately precludes, no matter how bad the car gets, no matter how much it stinks, no matter how much it turns badly, and you cannot possibly get out of the car because you're identified as the car. Simple as that. So once the possibility of being free from the car is now totally limited by the car's definition, which is you'll attempt to be free as the car. Yeah. That's it. If you see that, you won't be the car, and then suddenly the locks are open, there's doors, you can get out. This incredible new possibility that never seemed to be available was only not available because you were identified as the car. As soon as you're identified as a thing, all your desires and hopes to be free, to be totally expressive, to be realized, is going to be as that. You're attempting to be free as that, which you'd really like to have freedom from. So the freedom from is based on seeing simply you're not that. If you're not a car, what's going to dawn on you is you never were a car. You never will be a car. There's not going to be a process to become an uncar. It's just a very clear seeing that you're not that. And then that's that. Now, what happens? Well, you seem, and that's the big word here to me. Seeming means it appears to be true or false to us. This is dreaming. So we are the overriding principle of this place. So we can we give everything all the meaning it has, as the Course in Miracles says. So that's a pretty lofty position in this situation, that not you as this, because this is a meaning that's been given already. So you're starting from a meaning that's been given. This meaning that's been given is that it's you. So from there, all other meanings now go through this little lens, and now all the emphasis is on things in relation to you as a thing. And then to the point where it won't work maybe, and you'll start looking for, let's say, the truth, yeah? But you'll be looking for the truth from the real truth. The truth that now seems to be identified as something else. So now it's searching for itself is like the worst move of all time, because the Buddha, you can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha, because it's the Buddha. You know what I mean? It's seeking the Buddha would be an act, an activity. It never makes it so, it just seems to be so. An activity that it's not the Buddha. While seeking the Buddha is actively denying that it's the Buddha. Mm-hmm. Why would it seek it? It must be thinking that if I found the Buddha, it would bring something to me that I don't have. It'd be a great, great advantage for this. But why would the Buddha want to add more Buddha? It's just being the Buddha. Yeah. So the idea of the negative way is, in some spirituality, is just this. There's no need to find anything out about except for what you're not. So that if you realize, wow, I'm not that which I've been identified as, that's the negative way. So there's a negation of your seeming reality, and then reality dawns, like it's always dawning. Yeah? You don't bring forth reality. You don't find reality. You're in the midst of, you're right in it. You're like the fish looking for water. It sees seaweed, it sees this, maybe it sees water bottles, and it thinks, oh, I gotta get a water bottle, I'm fucking dying of thirst, while it's totally immersed in water. So we're trying to get wet because we believe we're dry. This is not about another way. All right, I got the greatest way for you to get wet and for you to stay wet for a pretty long time. But there's going to be periods, though rather long maybe, of you dry, but you can get this product and you'll be wet again. Yeah? That's mostly is what's going on, because it's the affirmation of the dryness that produces that seeking or drive to get wet. If you're not dry, you may find out what? You're wet. How long would it take? No time at all, because it's always been the condition. This isn't an acquired condition. It's something that's always available at all times, no matter where you are, with no requirement necessary. That's the beauty of it. The only possibility we have in relationship with this idea is to be it. That's it. Not knowing it, studying it, nothing. Practicing it, no fucking way. Being it. Now what happens? How does that being seem to get stabilized? Because it's completely stabilized, is not by working towards it, but seeing what you're not. So if you see that, hey, I'm not, that's why, like in recovery, I like to use the word parasite, mental parasite, because you want to produce an image in the person that's hearing this message that it's other. That what you're so cozy with, that you're calling yourself, and the language is constantly reinforcing it. Yeah. It casts you as of a doer of tons of shit you have nothing to do with. Like, people ask, oh, what happened? I hurt my knee surfing. It sounds like I went out in the water with a hammer and I fucking, all right, it's 11:15, I'm gonna hurt my knee. Bammo. No, the knee gave out. But the language, and then you tell tons of people, oh, what happened, Paul? I hurt my knee. I hurt my knee. I hurt my knee. It's like a pledge of allegiance. I hurt my knee. Self, I did it. We used to always use the absurd thing about growing one's hair. And everyone thinks it's fucking funny. But people, this goes on all day. Never question. Oh, Paul, you're growing your hair. Oh, yes. Yes, I forgot that for a second. But now I remember, I have been growing it. And I've been on a really good run lately. Growing well, and I joined others that grow hair. And we're all growing our hair together. It goes thicker and faster. And then you're sort of losing your hair. Hey, you should join our club. And then you can go on, oh yes, I shampoo it then, I do all this stuff. Yeah, but you're not growing your hair, you're just not cutting it. It's a negated way. It's a way of negation, isn't it? You don't do something and something goes on undisturbed. Isn't it really? In most cases, if you don't do something, something's going to go on undisturbed. It's going to take its own course. This is it. We're trying to use an affirmative action plan to get into something we cannot be out of. That's the whole point. This action figure needs a way of life, but to call yourself the action figure is another way of life. That's the way of the self. You need a way of life. This needs a way of life. This little Ford veers off, like way off, and hits things, and attracts undue attention from people in uniform. So this has to be trained. Stop fucking going right. You know what I mean? So 2 years in a program, just try to get this guardrails up so this thing doesn't keep veering off. Yeah. But all the while, if there's this constant narrative that it's you, that it's you, that it's you, that it's you, it's going to be quite easy to just keep slipping your hand in that glove and letting the glove interpret your whole world for you. And after a while of slipping in, you forget that you're the hand, seemingly, and you take yourself to be the glove. And now the glove wants to become a hand. As if it's animated by anything other than the hand. But now it's the glove. The glove is searching. I've got to find my real authentic hand. It's right fucking there. Just see that you're not the glove. And then what happens? The next possibility dawns. I can pull it out. It says I don't have to go through 3 years of studying how to pull it out. It just then when it goes back in, there's a difference. The hand, seeing its animation being expressed through the glove, hey, that's what happens. But it doesn't fall for the idea that it's the glove anymore. Yeah? This can be applied anywhere. Because to me, everything out here are paths. Everything. Going to work, everything. And some of them are called paths of illumination. Like spirituality and stuff. But truly, what this message is an illuminating factor that we be brought to any path you're on. Yeah, you are the light you're looking for. That's the simple invitation. You are what you're looking for, and it's been said through thousands of years in very cryptic ways. What's seeking is what you're seeking. What the seeker is the sought. St. Francis, what's looking is what you're looking for. End of freaking story. They don't have to go through 800 pages of singing the glories of what we are, because if you sing the glories of what we are, you're going to hear it from what you're not. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to become a goal or a dream that you, as what you're not, want to end up at. Just see what you're not. And then you'll sense the glory of what's happening here. You'll sense presence in space. You'll feel fucking on. You'll be awake to being awake. And that will be the new basis. Instead of irritable, restless, and discontent, you'll have a certain stability, like a note that never gets broken. It allows all other notes to bounce off it, but it's just like, that's what we are. So all to me, the greatest warnings, and that's what I believe spirituality is warnings, really. They warn you, hey, this is a mistake that is happening seemingly all the time. Because the mental state, the selfing is so fast, whatever you think you're coming in contact with, it's the one that's talking all about it, it's narrating it, it's interpreting it. Yeah? Even when you hear this message, I remember when I first started doing these talks, I was talking to people about big M mind, or awareness. I realized quickly that goes fucking nowhere. They go home and think about it, they conceptualize, and then they start searching for it. And so and even in this thing called non-duality, it will go to such an extreme length that you'll be seemingly a self trying to become a non-self. It's insane. It's fucking insane. You cannot be a goal that you want to arrive at. It's not happening. So it's a warning. Yeah, a clear warning. The movement of the mental state is to claim. You can see its footprints everywhere in your life by the word my. That's it. Problem, my problem. Time, my time. Money, my money. Girlfriend, my girlfriend. My. There's a huge amount of meaning that streams from, I call it the me cloud, streams from there, and it just goes over the bridge of my and infects whatever is at the end of the my, which is the problem, time, girlfriend, everything like that. Now suddenly all new meanings get expressed in that situation that you had never had before. They're just latently available. If you hit the little tab on your computer, bing, this shit downloads. I remember when I first met a spiritual teacher, a guru. I grew up a Catholic, had no idea about quote-unquote spirituality. I meet this group, and suddenly I have millions of ideas about it. Ideas how he should be, how I should be, how they should be. I swear to God, they just was like unbelievable avalanches of ideas about spirituality. Never had any experience of it. It was just latently there. As soon as my little me got introduced to it, it claimed it, and then to the point where they called this guy the Lord of the Universe, and I was in a position after about a year that I didn't like the Lord of the Universe. And that made me a motherfucking bad thing. Who the hell would not like the Lord of the Universe? It had a field day with me. I was getting crucified fucking every day. I was trying to plan how I could kill him with like a dart that wouldn't hit him in one of his little motorcades. I'd hit, and then he'd die 100 yards away. There were so many people I could be, they would never know. Because I couldn't get, I wanted to leave, but who leaves the Lord of the Universe? Fuck. That's like a really bad move in spirituality. It was insane. It went on for 5 years. It was relentless. I needed a fucking drink. Unbelievable. And that's what I did. I finally broke that gravitational pull, and the only way I could get out of it was to stay fucking loaded. The only way I get a modicum of relief with a huge bill of consequences was getting so high, I forgot I was released from the me cloud, and of course I got arrested usually, but I got released at least for a few minutes of a fucking rush or something and cocaine going to my brain. I mean, that's what happens. This thing will drive you freaking crazy. It truly is like a parasite. It doesn't have a life, so it jumps on yours. It's not even your life. That's how it has yours, because you think it's your life. If you think this life is yours, the parasite can easily move in. Seriously. So if you can possibly entertain its other, yes, if the root of the problem is identification as self, then in a sense, an expression of solution would be seeing that parasite as other, instead of calling it you, yeah? That would become the freedom from the bondage of self. Because the bondage is an activity. That's all it is. We're in total cahoots with it. There's no bondage to self because there's no self to be bonded to. It's called bondage of self. So it's an activity that we are of self. And we're not. As Jesus says, you're in this world, but you're not of this world. You and I are not of self. Once that gets clear, what occurs? Find out what occurs. What I found over time is that you'll travel lighter on a stabilized level. Won't change the geography of your little action figure life, or it may, but what happens is you'll travel lighter with whatever's in store. Cancer, no cancer, this, that. You'll just travel light over it all. The thoughts will arise when necessary, and then when a job's done, they usually recede. When something really important comes into your life, they may show up like a swarm of bees, and basically what they want to do, they want to sting you into action. Just like in recovery, surrender to the parasite is fuck it. That's when it happens. There'll be a driving of the supposed one crazy to the point where you go fuck it, and then you finally let all of that shit find expression through you, and then action occurs. And then usually you get tattooed by the action. Yeah? And that way, this insanity that has no life at all has now expressed a life by producing an effect and extending it in time. And it needs you. It has to have you. You're the doorway. No thought can be seen out here. Its effects can be seen through action. It has to compel an action. The same thing with drinking and using. Alcoholism does not have a mouth. It cannot drink. It's like all other parasites. It has an incredible, difficult situation. What it needs is outside of itself. And it has no way to get there except for the transportation we offer. So it's constantly working starts describing, narrating, they're all gonna fuck you, this is gonna be terrible, until you go, you just comply and you go fuck it, and then with the wealth of information, you should never have another fucking drink, you go out and have a drink. And then the genie's out of the bottle, yeah? Before you had a little strain of jealousy, now you're up on stalking charges, shit fucking gets amplified, it's like, now you're like on flypaper, each move gets you more stuff, you gotta go to court for 3 years, you forgot, why did I even have that fucking drink? But the court system doesn't forget. 3 years from your analysis, shit like that. It extracts a payment. Yeah. No one has recognized anybody's thoughts here. The only thing they see is actions, yeah? It's like a giant swarm just waiting. They gotta get in. They wanna get in here. They wanna have a fucking say. And you're the only thing that can give it voice. Only thing. So needs to be an immunity to thought. And there is no immunity to thought if you're taken to be the thinker. None. No fucking way. You have to get to the roots. It's not the thoughts, it's the sense of being the thinker. It's not the actions that bind you to self, it's the sense of being the actor that binds you to self. Yeah? It's not feelings that bind you to self. They're being used to bind you to self, but the real thing is the my feelings, the my thoughts, the my actions. This is the activity that produces, seemingly, it cannot happen, it can only seem to happen. Like we say in recovery, false evidence appears real. This is an incredible statement. How the hell could false evidence appear real unless it appears real to what's real? How could it? How could, well, just false evidence just appears real like that every second, anytime it likes, it's like false, real. False, real, you know? No, it has to appear real to what? Us, yeah? Which implies what? We're reality. We're the dreaming of the dream. We give everything all the meaning it has. What is that? Does that sound like I'm 5'11" and I live with my mother till I'm 48? Doesn't sound like that. It sounds like a much larger role that we're in. That we're the dreaming of the dreaming. We forget that we're dreaming, and I humbly believe we forget it seemingly. It cannot be forgotten, but it can appear to be forgotten. The dreaming can forget seemingly that it's dreaming. How? By being identified as what? A dreamt. When it's in this condition, suddenly everything it's been giving meaning to now has the ability to affect it. So now a thought which may have no effect is held as yours. There's a claim in your thought, now the thought can claim you. You claim being the feeler, now the feelings can claim you. Claim being the actor, then one action can set you up to San Quentin for 40 fucking years. This is what's getting played out here. It's good to, why would you want to live on the consequential level of what's going on when you can go even past the blueprint room and check it out? The action figure isn't going to go free. It has its predilections, but you can be free as the action figure is doing whatever it's doing. When you're aligned with the action figure and you take it to be you, then when you say, I want to be free, you're saying you want to be free as a body. That's not happening. The freedom we're talking about here is prior to everything. It's untouched. Yeah? This isn't a freedom you get after you're bound. It's what's prior to bondage. From here, the bondage is seen as an activity, as a possibility. That's all it is. It can seemingly be happening, but it's never fucking happened. What you are has never been touched by anything. There's not one mark on what you are. You're like the sky has never turned into a fucking cloud, though millions of clouds have moved through it. Not once does the sky think it's a cloud. That's a quality that's available now. That's the surrender, that's the serenity, that's the peace. That's where it all comes from. It says in AA, enjoy peace of mind. You see, peace is of mind, big M mind. That's where peace is. That's where serenity is. You are humbly what you're looking for, but not as what you're taking yourself to be. If there's a negation of the false reference, what's obviously going to be apparent? Where you actually stand. Yeah? It will take no time. It's no special place. It's always right where you are, with no requirement necessary. Always available. And if they seem to be requirements, you're the one who has them. Seriously. So now suddenly the horse is in front of the cart and fucking things make sense. Like in Zen they say, blue will be blue, red will be red, things will be clear. Yeah? You won't have any questions about metaphysics. You'll have questions like, where can I get a good latte or something? Yes? It'll be totally different. You'll now be looking for what can be looked for, and you won't be looking for what can't be looked for. It'll save you a lot of fucking time. To look for lattes and everything like that. Shirts, yes, we're trying to provide you that. So, if you're looking for a shirt, we got one. See how fast that happened. So if you see it, the first movement of the mental state is claiming. Just see it. Just have that understanding. So it doesn't have a life, so it claims a life that we make available by being identified as what we're not. That's what it does, yeah? It feeds off of us in a lot of ways, yeah? So its movement is to claim. So whatever it comes in contact with, it's going to tell a story that it's the one in contact with, right? So conscious contact brings about events. The mental state comes after the conscious contact, but says, by claiming what's happening, it says, I'm the one who saw that. I'm the one who heard that. So it's like what comes after implies it's before. So now your before, when identified, is after. So what gets forgotten, seemingly? The before. And then from the after, you'll make up ideas about where the before is, but you'll only want to get to the before from what's after. You're not going to arrive at before from what's fucking after. You see you're not after, and that's that. And the appropriate response is nothing. There's no journal, there's no packing any bag. You're there before you could even imagine you get there. Yeah? It's so available, it seems like it's not. Because when we look for it, we're blind to it. Because when we're looking for it, we're truly looking from it. Every second of every moment, we're looking for it, we're looking from it. That's why we're blind to it. You can't look for what's seen. You can just be what's seen, looking. Then you'll travel lighter with all the looking, yes? Because everything really is symbolizing what's seen. That's what you're truly looking for. Yeah? Yeah. Then you'll find the rest. Better than 50-time massages. You'll be stabilized. You'll be chilled out. Yeah? And then shit happens. But thank God it's not happening to you. We like to stop the shit from happening, but we don't realize Don't you ever see that there's usually you're there when shit happens? There's a lot of different shit, but there's one you that's there all the time. I would say that's the biggest shit. It's the one that says it's having all the shit. I really believe it. I think the biggest problem is the sense of having problems. Yeah? The biggest problem with thinking is the thinker. The biggest problem with feelings is the feeler. The biggest problem with actions is the actor. If you see you're not the actor, then you'll travel lighter when the feelings and the thoughts and the activities are happening. Yes. And if you have trouble with activities, AA is a great way of life. It keeps you on the straight and narrow. I haven't been arrested, well, for 29 years, where I used to get arrested like every week. Literally. Something happened. Yeah. And you know what? I'll just share this a little bit. Because it was one of the greatest demonstrations. The day I got sober, or sober got me really, I was at the end of a long rope. You know, at this point, my managing from the mental state led me to having to be managed by others. Yeah. My mother wanted it to stop. She sent me so many St. Christopher fucking medals. I think that's the guy for Lost Souls, or it was St. Jude. Little prayer cards, everything, you know. The state wanted it to stop. My friends wanted, I didn't have any friends at that point. My enemies wanted to stop. I wanted to stop, but no human power could change this one effect. It was like a fucking pulsing urge to fucking get out of where I thought I was. Yeah? As what I thought I was. That was the real dilemma. And this urge was on all the time. If I got arrested, as soon as I got out, I got loaded. Nothing, the type I was willing to pay any consequence tomorrow not to feel uncomfortable now. I had a huge discomfort. My head seemed to be burrowing into me all the fucking time. So I needed relief. So this is what occurred. It was a regular day at the office. I just spent 2 years in a program. Went to college. They told me it's over. That period of your life is done. And I was hoping to believe it, you know. I got out and suddenly, quickly, the irritability, restless, and discontentment, that drive in my head and my incredible devotion to it. Because it's only the faith in it that makes it seem to be so. And there was a huge faith in it. I truly believed my view of things, my perceptions, the thoughts about them. And I had spent 2 years, I got out, went on this 10-month run, ended up in a trailer park, and had drunk myself stupid, which hadn't happened that much. You know, I used to keep at least some level of intelligence, but I was dumb, like a bad sitcom, yeah? I was coming in and out of this dull fucking place because I was just drinking, because I was at that point, which was the most terrible, hellish point when you have it's like that hungry ghost in Tibetan Buddhism. It has this huge appetite, but has a very small mouth. For me, with addiction, I had a huge appetite and I had no money. So I had to convince others to do what I want. And I wasn't my batting average at this point wasn't that good in convincing others to do what I want. The charm had been going, I looked a little ragged, you know. The shtick wasn't working well. So I was fucking really pissed. So I was in this trailer just drinking, hoping I could stay obliterated, and with the hopes that someone I might run into would want to buy drugs, because I like shooting coke, you know. That was the quickest delivery. And just looked at this guy across the way drinking this Royal Gate vodka. And he had a big head, big fucking white head, big nose, and varicose veins on his face. And it really hit me, this guy's a fucking bum, you know. But lo and behold, it looked like he was looking at me like I was a bum. And something like, it was like Moses with the river party, you know? Something fucking happened that I had no idea could ever happen. Something put a stop to the head. It's just fucking mind-boggling. And then information, I must have been waiting like a planes at Kennedy Airport, getting clear to land, just suddenly downloaded. They only had a very small window before the disease woke up again. They downloaded, and it was like a CNN news flash, a headline, no story. You're fucked, bro. And like everyone knew I'd been fucked for quite a while, but it was news to me, really. I mean, it hit me in a different way, because I believe selfing is like a horizontal download, but it's a download of like lousy 70s music, golden oldies, but it goes around you like this, and when it gets thick, it's like saran wrap. You can't really see. Yeah, this was vertical like download. It just went somewhere that I didn't know was there, because it isn't in the body, and something was put to fucking rest. Just mind-boggling. It was feisty that day. I went to my first meeting that night, and when I went to sleep that night at this lady's house, when I woke up, that urge, that isotope had been removed. And I could let other information come in instead of that drive to get loaded, which was, I gotta call this AA because I'm not gonna make it till 8 o'clock. I gotta see if there's an early meeting. And it was a 1 at 12, and I just went there, and it's just been going for 29 years. Now that's a solution to me, yeah? Because it's even, in a way, it's the greatest solution I ever had, because I don't really need that much skillful means, because I don't have any thoughts or feelings. The engine was removed out of that fucking addictive drive. Something took out the engine. So the thoughts and feelings, I never had a strong feeling or thought to get loaded. 29 years. So if I did, I probably would have. If that urge was still there, I would probably follow it. Yeah, because I was defenseless. I was powerless over it. But it was fucking removed. What did that imply? It implied a lot. Now, it didn't dawn on me, but what really opened it was when I heard this message. This message brought such illumination to that event of getting sober, because the source was the same, yeah? One source I thought was somewhere out there. Suddenly, with the non-duality, I realized the source is what I am. That's what makes it always available at all times. I'm not looking for that which downloaded that day. I'm looking from that which downloaded that day. That's hugely different, hugely different. You don't have to pack, you don't have to have right gear or special looks or anything. It's just put to rest. Yeah, that's that. And then you find out a lot of shit, which is totally unnecessary, except for the moment it downloads, or to be used in this setting. So you stay very empty. Your storage has nothing in it. That's the good news. So, there you have it. If you see what you're not, a lot of its ideas of how things have to be will seem to be, you'll see it through. Yeah, you do not need to be put off another fucking 5 minutes to be found. You really don't. You can end that search. Yes. All right, that's it, eh? I'm gonna hit that button. Any questions? Of course not. How could you have a question?